Councilwoman Lynda Johnson, congratulations on your election as the first Filipina-American council member at the city of Cerritos. How does that feel? Has it sunk in?
It has a little bit, as folks call me, hello, good morning, council member. And I'm kind of, very laid back. And I asked them, just please call me Lynda. I was Lynda before, call me Lynda now.
Right.
But yet, as folks address me as council member, it's starting to sink in just a little bit.
Right. How does it feel to be the first Filipina to do this?
So I've lived in the city of Cerritos since 1971.
Tell me about that.
Yes. When we first came here, my dad was starting to retire out of the Navy after having served 20 years. And so he was looking for a home to buy because while his service in the Navy, we actually lived in Navy housing. So this was going to be the first home that we were going to be living in that would belong to us. So we came to Cerritos. And it's like, why in the world would we choose Cerritos? Because in 71, there were cow fields. None of this development was here. City Hall wasn't here. Maybe the mall, just a strip mall, and some shopping centers. In fact, there was no Chinese restaurants in the area.
Wow.
Or places to buy soy sauce. We had to go to Chinatown to buy soy sauce.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how, it was just starting to develop. So we moved here in 1971, and I attended schools here. And I always thought, and I love this city. I never really left. I've lived here 50 years. And I always said, one day I want to be mayor of this city. Because I'm just so proud of this city and what it's become. And that's because of the past leadership, right? From our former council members and to our city manager. The vision and the mission of their goals of a master plan community really came through in what you see today in Cerritos.
That was very, shall I say gutsy or kind of new. For a woman, culturally minority, talking about wanting to be mayor of the city. What made you say you wanted to be mayor? And that's very specific.
Right, because when I attended schools here, it was predominantly Caucasian. I was the only Filipina in my classroom, and that was for a good number of years, right, in elementary school where it wasn't as diverse as it is today. And I remember my mom always saying, you can always do what they're doing, what others have aspired to become. Just because you're Filipina, don't let that stop you. So it was my mom that said you could do whatever it is that you want to be.
Were there ever instances of discrimination or of other people making you feel less than, especially if you were the only Filipina at that time in school?
Yes, there were, of course. I experienced some discrimination because of the color of my skin and the way I looked. But interestingly enough, when we started to get into the 80s, Cerritos really started to become diverse. There was an increase in Chinese population, Filipino population. So what you see today really is just a diverse and melting pot of different cultures.
And you say that because Cerritos is such a vibrant community.
It is.
And there's also a big pocket of Filipinos here. But then a little geography here because some people also interchange it for Artesia.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because it's like a donut, right? Artesia's in the middle, and then Cerritos is surrounding Artesia. Cerritos has about a 50,000 population, whereas Artesia has about 18,000. And so you cannot get into Artesia without crossing through Cerritos. Yes.
So it's a donut. It's two different cities, and we have the first Filipina-American council member in Cerritos.
Yes.
Well, that was such a fun interview, wasn't it? And it's not yet done. Catch the second part of that interview in just a little while. You know what else makes a day amazing? A good breakfast. And here it is. The McDonald's sausage McMuffin with egg is savory and melty and made with a freshly cracked egg. Here it is. Now you can get 2 sausage McMuffin with egg for just $5 at participating McDonald's. There's a meal for every morning at McDonald's.
This is where I want to be, Cerritos. I mean, I've loved it for 50 years. I have no other aspirations to go anywhere else. I just really want to do the best what we can here for the residents and to recognize the diversity that we have here and just bring it to a higher step, higher level.
Right.
Yeah.
How did this start, your journey in public service?
So I actually learned from my dad. So back then in 1974, he was just retiring out of the Navy. And as many members in the Filipino community here were also retiring out of the Navy, so they formed the Southern California Philippine Veterans Association. Yeah, so till this day, they still meet. They're in their 80s and 90s now. And I saw kind of like how a small organization was structured. You have your president, vice president, board of directors, all of that. So, and also community volunteering, right, in the community. So I saw that, how they gave back to the community and were appreciative of what they enjoy here in the city of Cerritos. So moving forward, I always knew that Cerritos is where I wanted to raise my children, because it's known for the high-performing school district, ABC Unified School District, which I actually served as a board member from 2011 to 2017. So while they were in school, I actually started with the PTA. So that's where everybody starts, right? So I started working with PTA, but more like volunteering. And it wasn't until my youngest was in high school in 2008 where I stepped up and became a president of the PTA. And then there was a vacancy on the school board. So I ran in 2011 and I won. Yeah, so that's where it really started to develop, was my community service, governance, leadership in the community. Also in my professional career, I was the field deputy to Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn. And I served the 4th District and the gateway cities in the 4th District. So that was even another step up in my leadership role, right? Because I, as the field deputy for Supervisor Hahn, represented her. I dealt with city managers, elected officials, and then eventually I transitioned over as the field deputy for Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. And so that's where I am right now professionally. And then with that, here in 2022, there was an opening on the city council, went after it, and here I am today.
Right. I'm sure that it's not all rosy. I'm sure that there were challenges. What kept you going despite challenges?
Fortunately for me, the city of Cerritos is very diverse, right? And I've gotten to know the different types of cultures and ethnic backgrounds of our city, and engaging with them. And it really is just learning, right? Learning how each culture, I didn't feel that there was any challenges as far as me being a Filipina. I really didn't think that, because I felt like the community is such that they want to look for good people to represent them. And so fortunately for me, that was what I felt.
Right.
Yes,
right.
yes.
And what about the contribution? So what do you hope to contribute to the city?
So the city is very fortunate to have such a beautiful library. We're one of the world's best known libraries. We have a beautiful Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts. We have a sheriff's station, is really the only station in LA County that serves just the city of Cerritos. So for me, I really want to develop the arts here at the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts. In fact, I just had a conversation with the city manager. We're hoping to bring in more musicals. We just got confirmation Leia Salonga will be back. She comes here to the Performing Arts, and we need to have cultural performances that represent and reflect the diversity of the city.
Right, I love that. And how did you celebrate AAPM month?
Oh, I've been fortunate enough to have been invited to so many events through my professional career as a field deputy and also for the city council. Last weekend, I was actually invited. The consulate office of the Consul General of the Philippines had a cultural fashion show representing the different countries of Malaysia, Indonesia, and Taiwan, and the Philippines. So I was there. I really enjoy AAPI month. It gives me a chance to wear my, Filipiniana. Yes.
So what would be your message to young Filipinas that may be watching us right now? You know, as Filipino families, we always talk about this on the show, we're very reluctant to encourage our children to get into public service. For whatever reason that may be. But here you are, loving your job, doing good for the community, and feeling very fulfilled. What would you say to those that are watching right now who are looking up to you, maybe want to be like you? Maybe there's another little girl there saying, someday I'm going to be mayor of this city.
Yeah, so I say to them, be involved, whatever service club that you can find, find your passions and be involved and give back, right? We always need to give back to the community because the community has given so much to us as well. And don't let anything stop you, whether you're a female, whether you're Filipina. My mother did tell me, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. So I say to them, go for it. Go and, aspire to be what you want to be. You can do it.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Congratulations
thank you.
again.
Thank you so much.